I was given an elite scholarship.
Where did you go and train and stuff?
I was supposed to go to.
Hey,
I was supposed to go to the States.
What happened? What do you think it is about you that made you pursue this thing this hard?
I think honestly, my brother was like the most inspirational person. And I wanted to be like him. Like in 1994, he went to Japan and became a world shukukai champion. So I was like, damn, I need to see myself go to Japan and or somewhere else. In 96 they went to New York for some tournament. They did well, and this really inspired me. And I was like, you know what? If my brother can do this, I can do it.
People of different identities. Podcast with PODI-CAST.
Yo, what's poppin', everybody? It's your boy SCAR. Once again, welcome to the PODI-CAST, proudly brought to you by the good people over here at Local Corner. And man, we're over at the Staywell Hotel, and I keep telling you, you better come through, you know what I mean? Mogoritani is as beautiful as you've seen in my pictures, and everyone else who comes from Mogoritani will tell you. And this is a spot that, we've seen over a couple of years grow. And as you can see, we try to show you as much as we can every single time we're at the Staywell. So please, come through. It's in Mogoritani. That's where PODI-CAST is held. And on this episode, man, I'm happy to have one of the most successful young athletes, young people to come out of BW doing what I've always wanted to do myself, which is like an individual sport. You know what I mean? So in the house today, we're joined by the first karateka to put Botswana on the map, competing and winning internationally. He has 2 gold medals at the African Games in 2019. He was crowned Union Federation of African Karate gold medalist in one of a bunch of tough competitions. And he's also competed at the World Karate Federation in Netherlands, Dubai, and one of, if not the highest ranked Botswana karateka in history. And we'll talk about that ranking. I think he's been 11th. I think he's been 4th as well. In the house today, we're joined by Ofentse Bakwadi. What up, Pa? What up, my king?
Thank you, Caesar. Thank you for having me, bro.
Thank you for coming through. I mean, you're one of my very sheeps. I mean, you're warm, Papa. How's the weather? How's the change of weather?
It's freezing, bro. It's freezing, bro.
Yeah? No, but you look good, my brother.
Thank you,
I'm so happy to see you. How's retirement going so far?
So far, so good.
Yeah.
So far, so good. I can't complain at all.
All day. I mean, what's different between now and when you were still an active athlete, like when it's a Monday right now?
I still wake up at 4 a.m.
I saw that
on
your
training
WhatsApp.
At 4:30, and so nothing has changed really. I still feel like I'm an athlete, so I still follow the same routine, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
No, you're still a disciplined athlete, and I just want to start from the very, very beginning. You did your primary school, primary school, like some of us here. You want to tell us a little bit about your upbringing?
Ke musimane wa ko bobididi ba ga se kgwa ko mo lepolole. That's awesome. But born and raised in Gaps, ko township ya extension 14. Makesha na la bo bontleng Vetkasi ke makesha na me. That's my place. One day ke tle mo parliament wa Kgaolo.
No, you guys heard it here first, okay? No doubt. So that's where you grew up. How did you then karate? I mean,
how gola mo locationing like those movies Sabo Jackie Chan, Bo Tompo and all that. So we grew up watching those, and every time how do you more moving, you are trying all those techniques out. But fortunately for me, my brother Shihan Bakwadi was into karate, like proper karate. And then I think about the ages of 8, he dragged me to the dojo. Then trainer wako GSS.
Okay.
The club was called Samurai, and that's how I started.
With a lot of like prodigies by sport. Like we have once had Diramulo on the show as well.
Yeah.
But it takes a sibling. What do you think about you made him see or you got some skills? I mean, all of us watch those karate items. And even you could see some of them like Mobo TV when you get home, Mobo TV one. What about you made your bro? Aaron? No, like think late in Madia taxi.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he saw in me, but before I went to the club, he was training me more like paying.
Okay.
I remember he would make me do splits, more thinning, and he would go take a bath, and then I would be there crying for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes again to get more thinning on the split.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I survived that.
Was he a bully?
No, he was not a bully at all, but he was very strict. He was very strict, and
he was about it. He was about
he was about it for sure,
Yeah,
100%. So I survived that. He figured, okay, this guy could be tough. Maybe let me take him through the right ranks. So he took me to the club. I miss on trainer hela mola paying. So I went to the dojo, and it wasn't easy because the dojo is far from extension 14, like GSS to extension 14, and you're about 8-9 years. You have to walk there every day and walk back. So it wasn't easy, but I was always there. Like,
how was the first training experience? I mean, you find a bunch of other kids your age. How was that experience for you?
It was crazy because I mean how location in Ghana you always want to project yourself. So I always wanted to project or no, I can be the best. And I think from an early age I just appreciated that it's a cutthroat world. I mean competition is always a competition. So when I got there I was very competitive, and that really helped me because a sport like karate, you gotta be really competitive. You have to like want it more than everyone else.
Definitely.
And that's one thing that I think really helped me.
You never got into like team sports, because that's one of my biggest regrets. So team sport
Yeah.
I mean, with karate, it's up to you.
100%,
so you never liked playing team sports?
No, I mean, how so I played football. Coach at some point. Vincent Kaswane, were still younger. So and I was one of
we'll see. Because like I'm always thinking of like that usually, but no one mid-center as well. I never came back again, but I think it was also because of the confidence factor. What made you confident in your abilities that much? Because like a lot of people about Sonko public school, how confident in how were you able to like build up the courage? I can take these kids.
Nah, not even.
Yeah.
So I trained the track suits. When I started, I trained the track suits, and like I said, next is training Nicola Pain. That's the advantage I had.
So you had some.
So 100%. So when I got to the dojo, when grading came for me to move from white belt to yellow belt, sensei soccer by then. Shukukai main more. Not main more. African more. Yes.
Mid-center and I think there's a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, there was a Chinese restaurant there for a while. I see that. So basically, grading, I was supposed to move from white belt to yellow belt, but then Sensei Soccer, I guess, this kid is like really good and he has it in him. So I skipped yellow belt. I went straight to orange belt. So
No, prodigy. I want to talk about your grading. You want to take us through the grading process, or it's which belt?
Yeah. So basically, when you start karate, you are a white belt, and then from white belt you go to yellow. You go to orange, green, blue, purple, then brown 1, brown 2, brown 3.
Jesus.
And then first then black belt. That's when your karate starts.
Dude, that was I think a young yellow. I was fast. So, working is at this discretion of the sensei.
Yeah, it's pretty much the
Is there like an
discretionary
exam?
sensei.
What-
There is an exam.
Hey.
There is an exam. There's a syllabus. Like there's like requirements for you to go to yellow belt. You have to know how to do like a proper musubidashi, heisukudachi, a bow. You have to execute punches, upper blocks, down blocks, and probably one or two katas. Maybe you can kata ichi, like which is like the very basic kata, or maybe high nidan, depending
Kata
on the
is like
style.
a choreography.
Yeah,
Moving.
yeah,
and-
exactly.
and
So
on
you have
your
to be
own.
able to do a few things. There's a proper syllabus that has to be followed.
So ha o itirelwe hela ya ka majito ke tla ba tleditse bana ka diholo motho a sa itse re o irang. So when in 2000 you were graded black belt.
Yeah.
This is how long since you had started?
Yeah.
Nearly a year. Was it under a year?
No.
We know the lebaka le le kana ka no simulta from what year to until you are 2000 and
2000 got to black belt. I mean, like 2000, I was already part of the national team, like
Hey.
the junior national team. So you can imagine, and to be in the national team, you can't be in the national team under 2 years. You know?
Hey.
So I started when I was 8. By the time
Hey.
I graded my black belt, I was like about 14 or so.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it took time and
Yeah.
dedication.
Yeah, it took time. Definitely.
So when this discipline thing, was it something innate more? And I know say troublemaker, because I think a lot of us karate to discipline, and
Yeah.
for you to stay about 6 years in an individual sport for that matter.
Yeah.
And then go black belt. And what do you think it was in your character? Say focus on this one goal. Go kasi dog.
Yeah,
Eh,
yeah.
And o dlala o le one, wa emela wa va o le one, majita ba go kgobokana kwana ba nosi kwa, ba dlala ba le mmogo kwana. When you are this one pursuing this one thing. What do you think it is about you that made you pursue this thing this hard?
I think honestly, my brother was like the most inspirational person. And I wanted to be like him. Like in 1994, he went to Japan and became a world shukukai champion. So I was like, damn, I need to see myself go to Japan and or somewhere else. And in '96 they went to New York for some tournament. They did well, and this really inspired me. And I was like, you know what? If my brother can do this, I can do it. And I think, like you are saying, how time you go ball at times, sakanya ke tsetsi mo teng ke na ke pancha ke practice ke le nosi. So I think that hela builder the passion, builder the discipline. And I kept going.
Definitely, man. I want to talk about your name in 2000 because your first junior national call-up was 99 for the Zone 6 championships. I've always wanted to understand the Zone 6 championships because are they easy?
No, they're not easy, bro. They're not easy. Like, we compete against South Africa mostly. South Africa is like really tough. And the advantage they have is they have resources, one. They have the numbers. And they've always been ahead of us in terms of getting the knowledge.
The international game.
Yeah. So they usually come and teach us. But no, this has changed. This is how this is done now. You know, of course now it's better. I mean, we have social media. We are able to run a Zoom meeting, and we are able to get information firsthand. But they have advantage, or they have a bigger financial muscle. They have the numbers, like Banana Batswana Zone 16 just this past month or so. South Africa had 140 athletes.
Jeez.
We had 38. So you can see they have the numbers, and they beat us because of the numbers and because of other advantages. You know what I mean? So it's a steep climb.
So in 99, you were the only athlete who came back with a kata medal.
100%.
How did that feel? I mean, you are there with a bunch of guys like medal.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
It
for
was
you?
crazy because then 99, like this was in Namibia. So on Saturday we have kata events, kata tournament. The following day it's fighting, right? So on Saturday the whole team competes katas. And then I was the only person who got a medal on Saturday. So on that day I was the only guy with a medal, and no one was sure what's going to happen the following day and all that. So I think it was amazing. I mean, it was amazing. I didn't sleep that day.
And I'm also trying to figure out how was it being picked up by the national team? What type of did you feel now this is something that I can pursue for the rest of my life, or was it just okay, cool? Here is an experience. Whatever happens, happens. Did you have a plan, seeing yourself being what you are today, man?
Yeah, I mean, the planning a little but I mean at the ages of 13, 14 I saw re wena wa tlhaloganya go iragalang wa bona so but the planning a little because like I said o tla bo bona your brother khona go excel or le nna bogolong ka khona go tsena ga go black belt le nna ka khona go ipona ke palame plane one day wa bona so like those were like aspirations and basically I just kept pushing one day at a time.
I want to talk about this the kata as something say it seems like it's a specialty for you. I've even seen like some of the people by Loro Sensei or yo I was how did you decide that was going to be your competition because I could can you take us through that also like the different with scenarios kata fighting what else is there
so basically when you do karate there's different karate styles and then the one thing that confuses people as well is like they think martial art like there's taekwondo which is different, there's judo which is more about takedowns and then there's karate, there's mixed martial arts, but with karate again there's different styles. Having different styles it's the full contact what we do which is semi-contact. The reason why it's semi-contact is because they were trying to push as much as they can to have it in the Olympics. So they came up with rules to make it more attractive for the Olympic Committee. This is a blood sport type of thing, so it can be part of the Olympics. So for the longest, karate was not part of the Olympics because it was like seen as a blood sport kind of thing.
What about boxing?
Exactly. But boxing, the headgear, they felt like protective equipment. They are boxing karate. This is why karate law they came up with bigger gloves. They came up with foot protectors, body armors, and stuff. So they're just trying to make it appealing to the public, and I think they did a good job. This is why in 2020 karate was eventually part of the Olympics. So in karate there is forms which is like choreography where you do movements. So when you do these movements basically you are fighting a number of opponents and just because the opponents are not there you won't understand what this guy is doing. So, but you're fighting a lot of opponents. And then there's the other side of it, which is kumite. Kumite is like fighting Elen Naleska. We are in the ring, and then when he punches, he scores. When I punch, I score, and then like that. For like
your kumite, like sport.
Kumite, exactly. Exactly, 100%. You got it,
Okay, and this is how did because it's all up in your profile. How did that become something that you excel so much on? Was it something that you chose from an early age, or kumite?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Hey, kumite dingalo. But like growing up, I loved kumite and I loved kata. It was crazy. So I couldn't choose. Like I didn't choose to do kata. I didn't choose to do kumite. I was like, I'm gonna do both of them. You know? So every morning I would train for like 4 hours. I would do kata for 2 hours and then I would do kumite for 2 hours. And that's taxing. But I still couldn't choose.
That's the whole day gone.
Yeah, that's the whole day gone. So I still couldn't choose between the two. Like in 2012, I became an Africa Kumite silver medalist, senior. And I traveled to Morocco alone. I sponsored myself. I paid my hotel. I paid my flight. I was there alone coaching myself, and I got a silver medal for Kumite, not kata. So I wasn't like.
Is this the World Championships on Sweden?
No. This is Africa Championships.
Because when you fast forward, because I want to get to your 2003 in Sweden. Were you who was sponsoring you at this part of your career?
Okay, in Sweden. Sweden was 2003. We went for Hayashiha. It wasn't World Championships like all styles. It was Hayashiha. Like I said, there's different styles. There's Shukukai, there's Shitoru, there's Shotoken. So this was a Hayashiha style. And Hayashiha is one of the strongest styles in the world by far. By far. It is one of the most World Championships in terms of like prolific guys like Antonio Diaz, we have Borika Usami. These are products to Hayashiha.
So it's the one a lot of people keep their eyes on because a lot of stars are born from that particular
100%. So we went for that and we sponsored ourselves. So karate.
This is past 2003.
2003.
So how are ourselves, Shakes? Because I'm really trying to get a better picture of this, because people don't understand it, don't understand the economics of being an athlete in Botswana.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just the other day, there was an interview with Litzile. He was running at the Diamond League, and then someone asked him, okay, why don't Botswana teams have preliminaries, sort of?
Yeah.
I saw
that.
saw him,
I think I saw that, yeah.
He basically said, in Botswana, athletes do it themselves, and then, they don't really need to have preliminaries here.
Yeah.
Who's paying for all this stuff, and who's we? At 2003.
Yeah.
Hey,
Tota hela with me, my brother actually funded my trip to Sweden.
Yeah.
So it was, I can imagine how expensive it was.
Yeah.
So Tota hela, Mpo has done a lot for me.
Yeah.
I mean, like when I count my blessings, I have to count them twice.
Yeah.
Every time.
Definitely. No, that's what brothers are for. Sure, big homie. And so what was the biggest takeaway from that time when you were a kid, now you're traveling, and this is all because of your abilities? I mean,
of course, o tla bo tswa ko bontsha ba bang gore ka ne ke palame plane type of thing, and khona go bontsha dinepenyana ba kana ba re ne le mo marung ba gore wa tlhanyane mo o ka nna mo marung.
But how did you keep your head together?
It just gets you motivated to do more.
Yeah.
Of course, some people eventually think you're cocky or something like that, but I think it just builds your confidence, and then at the end of the day, you gotta appreciate that you're in a position you're in a position, you're privileged, kind of. So you cannot, you shouldn't take it for granted.
But you created it yourself, so you
100%.
Yeah,
no,
it slips in
100%. It kind of does, but at the end of the day, you have to appreciate where you're coming from, and the sacrifice you travel, and you gotta try to work as hard as you can to make sure you pay him back at least the results, because I mean that's the only thing you can do for him at that point.
Yeah.
But I mean, you get confident, and then eventually you want to share those skills with other guys.
I want to talk about like some of your other achievements. I mean, your debut at the All Africa Games nearly 2007.
100%.
You were part of the team with Nuno Fokio Kilwe and Tebogo Molapo.
Yeah.
And you guys got a bronze for that.
Yeah.
And you always bring back medals. What about some of your other contemporaries? Bonobo, Nuno Fokio Kilwe, Tebogo. Are they still part of the game? What happens in karate? Because there's only a few. There'll be so many at the beginning.
Yeah.
Hype. And then all of a sudden, Wanabo shakes or Wanabo Kaya.
Yeah.
What happens to the rest of the guys?
They fall off. It's difficult. Like, it's like a pyramid.
Yeah.
Only a few would reach like the summit. So like Bonono was one of the most amazing athletes we've had. Like that guy was a beast. He was a beast. I mean, the likes of Thabiso Nkile, there's some guy at Thabiso Nkile, that guy was super good. Thabiso Marutwaneng, these are people by long type, like especially Thabiso Marutwaneng. This is one guy who really helped me become an Africa champion eventually. Like he was cooling Australia back then, the elite scholarship. And every time he came to Botswana, like he would say, hey, Ofentse, I'm in town. I'm like, I need to go train with this guy. And the stuff he taught me, I'm still teaching a lot of people like today. A lot of people still don't understand how to do certain techniques. And because he taught me those techniques, I still teach like the young kids. To this day, I still teach even people by Longore. They actually taught Thabiso karate.
Olaru Shondi is that guy. Olaru Pula Power took away an actual sensei. For those who don't know, Thabiso Marutwaneng actually is the founder, and he's still running Pula Power to this day. So these were some of the people that you actually did look up to.
Thabiso did a lot for me. Like he did a lot for me, and it's unfortunate because he went to Australia and. When I'm learning certain things here, and my sensei is not as advanced as the guy in Australia, and you go to Australia, how buakwa, even though nalo and early students, you come back knowledge the guy who's teaching us, and it's very difficult for this guy to say eska so then like the proper technique. This guy what teacher he still doesn't know the proper technique.
So how does that work between you and your teacher now? Doesn't that create...
Eventually some of the senseis felt like, Ofentse feels like he knows too much. But I didn't know too much. I just learned from Thabiso. And Thabiso Tabiso is a modest guy. He wouldn't say, because I mean, this is how it is. I mean, I can't know everything. Even I have younger athletes like Bolintle Tanyala, I have Boka Onsala, I have Botito Wakwena. These are prolific athletes, like in terms of medal counts, you cannot match them.
You can't match them, man.
You can't match them. These are, I've not seen athletes like these kids in, like, even I get travel, I've been like to a number of countries, but these athletes are not talented, they're gifted.
They're very, very gifted.
They're gifted. So if they travel somewhere and they learn something, I should be able to learn from them.
Yes,
but Bosensi Barona Bukhulu nearly teacher no mistake. Unfortunately, that thing did not work for them. And student is gonna go hate. I train with him and try to get what he learned from the other sensei, because he was training with people who are probably better than me, you know. So I think we should just always try to humble ourselves, because I've appreciated that the highest level of learning is actually teaching.
Yeah. I want to ask about that. You know, the elite program. How do kids get on this thing? Right?
The elite scholarship.
Yeah,
it's one of those. It's very controversial.
Because I never understand it. I'm from I'm thinking you win, and you pass it to school.
Yeah,
and then you're considered.
Yeah,
100%. How does it work?
I mean, this is an initiative. Yeah, you know what I mean. You gotta give them a big ups for that.
Yeah.
And I unfortunately maybe instead of giving deserving athletes such an opportunity, just because I don't get along this particular athlete, this athlete, the sensei these particular athletes, I be or just being unfair to them. I think you gotta do well more sporting, you gotta excel. Like if team captain by the club or just an athlete excel in an individual sport, for example, or maybe I mean, you gotta be excelling in individual sporting, because you know what I mean. It's individual sport.
Did you get one?
I was given an elite scholarship.
Where did you go and train and stuff?
I was supposed to go to.
I was
supposed to go to the States.
What happened?
I was supposed to go to the States. I was admitted to go University of Seattle, and I was given the elite scholarship. Then back then I wanted to be a pilot so bad. I wanted to be a pilot so bad. And like, I mean,
what course did they give you? Did they give you an option of a course, or did they just give you the course that they thought?
Go home when I had applied to do real estate management. And back then I didn't really know what real estate management was.
But not right now.
Exactly, bro.
So you'll be coining it right now.
Yeah.
So where did you end up? You decided how
I just decided, no, man, I'm not gonna go to Seattle. I'm just gonna.
What's the all six? So what did you end up doing, and how were you able to keep competing? Because I know how they attribute athletics and education in Botswana. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I just decided not to go there, because I mean, my pain is like I was saying. I was born and raised in the ghetto, more extension 14, and it wasn't the best of conditions. Like, no silver spoon whatsoever, no spoon at all. You know, it was difficult. So my standard 7 I got a first class, form 3 I got a first class, form 5 I got a first class.
I'm just thinking you know.
I was admitted to do law more UB as well. I was admitted to do accounting or BAC. I was admitted to almost every institution I had applied to. And I decided no.
So what was your plan in that moment in time? Because a lot of people who become successful as you are, don't get it twisted. Shakes is okay, guys. Okay, he's fine. All right. So a lot of people who take the road less traveled, like yourself, end up becoming ultimate the success. Because they make their decisions early. You know, for example, Mampizi. Like I said, the people we've had in this podcast, Dirang, all of them made that decision very, very early. Me? Why? So what was the decision that you had made? What did you see as
the ultimate?
As the ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't. I was like, what, 18? And I decided, you know what, I'm just going to join BDF because I had applied to BDF as well. So I was called to enlist as an officer cadet and eventually do piloting.
Okay, from the BDF. bottom.
No, for officer cadet.
Officer cadet, okay.
Yeah, so I went to Paje for training, officer cadet for like a year. And then piloting.
Oh, okay.
So I was able to do continue working and to do karate. I mean, BDF is one of the institution, the few institutions saying when you talk of sport mo Botswana, like almost every athlete or exceller mo sporting only some kind of background an attachment ya military. Look at bo Glody Dube also mo matsohong a BDF. A lot of guys ba mo matsohong a BDF. So tota hela ke an institution e gore support sport, and I felt like I could say as an officer cadet and with the support in the kitse gore thing, especially for karate gona le like great leadership tsabo former commander General Fisher and General Muputimba and le bone, we looked up to them, but ke bona batho ba le kana no ha go te karate go bua ka bo sensei Muputing, and we told no ha ke le mo karating ke le go BDF gona le batho ba le they've been excelling in this sport ke batho ba ka ntsa ba ntsholetsa. So I decided to not go to the States and join BDF.
I want to talk about your relationship with the Botswana National Olympic Council. Actually, let's talk about the one with the Sports Council first, because you've won a couple of awards there. And Zagadi Awards Zele Bayanyana Gentsuit. You've won a couple of them. You know, you've won Sportsman of the Year, 2012 and 2017. This means being better, you know, as far as your achievements than all the athletes in Botswana, and you've also won 4 times the BNSC Sports Person of the Year. Well, award nominee. You know what I mean? You're known for winning over and over and over. I think what are your favorite accolades as an athlete?
Being given a Sportsman of the Year twice, I mean, that's an achievement and a half, and I really thank BNSC for recognizing talent and appreciating performance at the athletes in general. 2017 I was Africa champion. 2017 I was Africa champion, and then I was nominated as well for Sportsman of the Year. And in terms of performance in 2017, I don't think there was any athlete who had performed better than me. Like all sporting codes, all sporting codes, there was no athlete who had performed better than me in 2017. Unfortunately, I didn't win the award that year.
But you were nominated. I want to sing, sir.
I was nominated, but then that guy ran alone that year. You know, that guy ran alone, and then and
all of us were watching that guy run alone.
Yeah, 100%. It was an amazing moment for Botswana. I mean, like it was historic.
You had to win it, yeah.
But it doesn't translate to an achievement. You know what I mean?
I understand.
So I mean, it was one of those years. What I felt like, okay, this is one of the lessons that I've been learning, like Mukarati, that sometimes things don't go your way, and you got to understand life is not fair. Like
definitely.
So that was like the apex, that lesson where life is not supposed to be fair.
Are there any are there any advantages of winning these awards? And I was recently at the Botswana National Sports Awards nominations. Is there any benefit for an athlete? I
think the monetary benefit has increased over the years. Back then it wasn't much. I don't necessarily remember how much it was, but I think. I mean, I don't even remember how much that was, hey? But I remember in 20...
It's about 50K.
Somewhere there, right? Yeah. Like the overall sport person takes more.
Way more than that,
Yeah, that's like about 100, I think. But for the other categories, it's not that much. Yeah. But... like, I just always appreciated being nominated. I just appreciated that at least my efforts are being recognized. But like 2018 broke my heart, bro. Yeah.
Because I'm trying to get to that. Karate is bankrupt and all of that, you know, noise. And you guys are achieving all of these good results. how was the relationship between the Botswana Karate Association, le Botswana National Sports Council, while you were still an athlete? And also, I get growing also to be an administrator because, you are running a dojo at this point in time. You're running your own. Your relationship ya Boka le BNSC,
I mean, BNSC has always been very supportive. Yeah. They've always been very supportive. Like the program Usoteta Karate, these guys they were on top of them, 100%. I wouldn't take anything away from them. Of course, we always complain that the grant is not much, and all that.
I want to get a picture because people are always complaining about football getting all this money.
Yeah.
And you guys are bringing the results. I mean, right 100%. Now, we see athletics are the ones now, Baba Kwamolo. And I don't know what I go Chile the way the grant is the feel. My thing, what do you think? What does it go into, and how much do you think Boca would need? Because it's already doing well.
100%.
Hey, how much? I
think a few years they were giving us about a million pula.
Yeah.
Back then.
A year.
A year. So
for everything.
So with this 1 million. Maybe 20% would go to administration, so 200, and then 800 would go to development and events.
Okay.
So for a tournament like Zone 6, you need about 500,000.
Yeah.
Like the Zone 6 tournament that you usually travel to both South Africa and Bosnia, you need about 500,000.
That's one competition already.
That's one competition. So for continental, you need about. I traveled more key sponsor than under BNSC kana karate, because I appreciated that Madiara hiwa nkasora manzi. So I ended up sacrificing a lot of my personal money to just make sure I'm able to travel to these tournaments. And for one trip, like I was telling you earlier on, I went for a tournament to Morocco. I funded myself. The ticket was 22,000. Accommodation was about 7,000. Participation was about 3,000. And then meals and
all of that stuff.
For transporting Morocco and all that. So I'm talking an easy 40,000-50,000 per trip.
For one athlete.
For one athlete. So you can imagine spending 400,000 go zoning, and then you have to go for continental. Maybe you're trying to take 10 athletes, and then after continental, maybe you want to go for Commonwealth Championships or World Championships. And my dad thing about by then. This is why usually how you are go world. A karate will send maybe 2 athletes. I understand they should take their. It's World Championships. You don't take everyone. Exactly. So it always made some kind of sense because they would send maybe at most 6 athletes to World Championships. And then continental they would send 12. So it made sense. But
how important are they though to need these competitions at international?
They're important because these are the events where they give you they prepare you for World Championships, they prepare you for Olympics, they prepare you for World Games or World Beach Games, whatever event that you actually or ultimately want to compete in or win a medal at. So these are the building blocks. Without them, it becomes very difficult for you to go to the next level, because sometimes you don't win because you're not good. You just win because of technicalities, because you didn't bring certain things or you did something really, really minor wrong,
Yeah. I want to talk about your Botswana National Olympic Council. You're looking for assistance to attend certain qualifying competitions, because you were this close to getting into the Olympics, dog. What was the problem then? Why was it looking like you were running around alone trying to go represent your own country at the Olympics and no one is trying to help you out?
Yeah. I think the problem was like Botswana National Sport Commission and the Olympic Committee.
Yeah.
These are bodies they've been very supportive of my cause. And go BNSC, there was Mr. Falcon Sidimo. This is one person who always gave me a hearing, who always made sure I was supported in any way possible. Olympic Committee for Tuelo. This is one guy who understands sports.
He's actually played tennis.
He played. I know. Yeah, he played tennis. I know. And this is one guy who has a deep understanding of sport administration. And this is one guy who supported like, and he like you could see and you could tell this guy wants to see an athlete karate look Olympic because it was the first time karate in a part of the Olympic program. So like
you were number 4 in the world.
2018, I was ranked 4th in the world. And all I needed to do was to maintain that ranking. And for me to maintain that ranking, all I needed to do was be present at all the events. Just be present. I didn't necessarily have to win, but I was winning. I mean, in 2017, go Dubai. I came 11th at the Karate 1 Premier League. I mean,
damn. How are you fighting these tall ass niggas? Like, because like these dudes are really, really tall.
Yeah,
like,
but
how do you plan for such though?
Yeah, but I was just doing kata then. I was just doing kata, but still, someone who's bigger has more power.
Looks
like
happy.
Exactly. He's more
flawless.
artistic. He's able to execute his techniques and look much better than the guy who's like not too physical. And because with kata and kumite, there's technical marks and then there's athletic marks. So you need to maximize on your athletic marks. You have to maximize on your technical marks as well. So it was always difficult. It was very difficult. Like the most difficult thing Helama Africa doing was beating Egypt, beating Morocco, beating Algeria. That like nightmare, like literally for our athletes. So every time I competed, I wanted to compete against these guys. You know what? If I can beat an Egyptian, I can beat like some guy from Morocco. Like I always wanted that. Yeah. And eventually I did that, and I feel like BNSC and BNOC were really supportive.
Yeah, but you didn't get to the
I
thing,
didn't
Mrena.
get there because
you have retired, Mrena. We want the truth.
No, for sure.
What
happened?
How are you looking for all this help? And dude, and Okopil, and I heard from a little birdie, there was actually another athlete, our I think it was our Olympic committee, another athlete. Instead of your name, yeah.
So
I'm trying to understand, here you are, they're killing, and you need all this help. And then the same council goes and takes out another name?
Yeah.
How did that make you feel? Let's start there, though.
Okay, that was like...
And first of all, is it true?
That's true. Very true, yeah.
And how did that make you feel? I mean, you're working your tail off, and then this person is not even ranked in the 100. So how do you feel instead of you, and you're out here trying to do your best?
Yeah, I think the Olympic Committee, the World Karate Federation, rather, not the Olympic Committee, the World Karate Federation, for kata, for example, they needed only 10 athletes in the world, 10 that. Yeah, like your top 10 in the world. And like I was ranked 4th at one point. And then eventually, because I couldn't attend tournaments, my rankings fell. And by the time they needed submissions or made a recommendation that I should be submitted, I was ranked, I think, 20 something. But because
it didn't slip that much though.
Yeah.
It's after how long? Only a year.
After 2 years. After 2 years.
But that wasn't 2 years.
2020. So the World Karate Federation no, submit this athlete because we want to give him a wild card. Because obviously they consider that, I mean, being a black guy competing against all these guys, and all the tournaments, almost all the tournaments were in Europe. Even those Africa were still in Europe, because I mean Africa was Morocco. And
still,
I mean how long Morocco, you literally take a boat 30 minutes, you are in Spain. So I mean how to Haska Morocco or Tangier or Casablanca, you fly to Dubai first. From Dubai you go to Morocco, you fly to Paris first. From Paris you go to Morocco. So these guys are like technically not in Africa. So they gave me a wild card, or they actually wrote to say submit this guy's name so that he can be part of the Olympics. And
the Karate Association,
the World Karate Federation, the Botswana Karate Association. So the Karate Association decided to submit whoever they decided to submit. And I mean, they probably had their own reasons, and I mean,
reasons, exactly,
bro.
What kind of reasons are we talking about? So, all right. So, how did this make you feel? And let's be human here, because, I would be pissed.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know. How did you feel?
Yeah, man, I was heartbroken, bro. I was heartbroken.
And this is after Onontuira on the campaign.
After the campaign, after putting all the work, after taking money from my little savings and making sure I just attend as many tournaments as I could, you know, because it was like a tournament every 2 weeks. And I tried to keep up. I couldn't. But they still decided to choose someone who
couldn't even
qualified.
make it up
and
there.
The World Karate Federation stated, like, you have submitted this other person and this person doesn't qualify. They don't meet the criteria to be submitted. So please, this is the way that you submit this athlete.
Excuse me. Ola, Lena Lumungwida Walona, you stands a better chance.
Yeah.
You go into the Olympic.
Yeah.
You get manu.
Yeah.
Because they don't even fit the criteria to even be anywhere in that
100%,
conversation.
100%.
So, okay, Shakes, I'm really, I'm going to be petty here. Who hates you there?
I mean, I don't think there's anyone who necessarily hates me.
Come on,
I think that's a strong word.
No, well, listen. I'll use that word because it doesn't make any sense to me why someone would do such a thing. Why do you think they chose to go that route?
Yeah.
After you had done, I'm talking, it would have been something else if you hadn't done the campaign. To go and represent us. And he deserves it. So after seeing all of that and then they do that, why don't you think this is personal, or do you think, this is just how the cookie crumbles?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people were personal about a lot of things for karate.
Yeah.
I think my biggest mistake, because I was like from way back I was found guilty for being Impo's brother. So they always felt like he would favor me, like on national teaming. He would maybe that's nepotism hella. Because I mean, he's my brother. Of course, he might favor me. But unfortunately, this is one guy who was like so tough on me. I couldn't believe he was my brother. Like, this is one guy who consistently told me, if you do not do well, forget about the national team. Like, he told me consistently, even when he was a coach, he told me, if you don't get a medal, if you don't get a gold medal, forget about national team. Forget. And of course, these guys always felt like Kazamelwa, Kebrayame, but I brought results. 2017 was my first Africa Championship, seniors. From 2017 till my last championship was 2021, 22, I think. That was my last Africa Championship, I think, in Tangier. I consistently brought a medal. I never came home empty-handed, like 100%. I never came back without a medal. And you tell me, Yazamel, you know? So there was one time All Africa Games in Mozambique. So my brother wanted to film me in one event, and I was like, kumite. And I didn't want to do kumite now, but because he felt I could do better, because one of our athletes, very, very good athlete, he couldn't make weight. So my brother wanted me to compete instead of him, because and then as I make a weight, he was just
you can't gain weight in a day, man.
So I told my brother, I don't need to do this. I want to focus on kata. And he said, no, just. And they made a lot of noise, like, no, I'm like this, brother, blah blah blah. Okay, I didn't want to get involved, and I told him, don't let me focus on kata. I'm gonna do well. I'm gonna be the first Botswana athlete to go to the finals, Tsakata, at the All Africa Games. I told him I'm gonna be the first. If it's not happening this time around, it's gonna happen. But let me just focus mokate. They were making a whole lot of noise, and he eventually said, okay, since you don't want to do it as well, I'll just let it go. And then our team kata got third place. And semi-final, I went against some Algerian guy. That guy was the current Africa champion. And I beat him and went to the finals. You know? And these are people who still make noise. And all those guys who were making noise, a lot of them were making noise, and they were part of the team. And these are supposed to be your teammates. They didn't bring medals, bruh. They did not bring medals. They did not bring medals, all of them. I brought a silver medal. I brought a bronze medal with the team kata. And some other guys brought medals. And these are people who are not like trying to make noise. These are people who are focused. All the guys who are loudmouth, then they didn't bring medals.
And look, I'm just trying to figure this out because your dojo, your girls and your boys, my man. You know, one of them, Totela, is like a niece to me, and Lintle Tanya Color Tompo.
Yeah.
How
No, not at all.
How is your relationship with them, Botswana Karate Association? Because, I mean, you went to the Africa Games. Was it recent where you guys came with all these medals?
The Region 5 games.
Yeah, the Region 5 games. You came with all the medals, guys. How is your relationship now with Boka, with your kids competing this well?
I mean, right now, this is the thing. Sorry.
Hey, no, Oscar,
I need one. Yeah. This is the thing. My brother now is the president of the Karate Association.
Hey.
Now, like, it seems like my athletes habalimo national teaming. You know what I mean? I was reading in newspapers like a few weeks ago. Some guy claiming, hey, national team coach, blah blah blah. You know.
But you're winning.
This is the thing, bruh. The national team is made of 70% of my students.
I know that
Literally. And this is not happening because my brother is the president.
Hey.
This has been the case when the other guy was the president. You know?
Yeah.
It has been the case. How do the results are 2019? We had Africa Championships mo Botswana.
Yeah.
The senior national team, Botswana, 2019. My brother wasn't the president.
Yeah.
The senior national team, he won 7 medals. Senior national team in 2019, they won 7 medals. Africa Championships. We were hosting. The senior national team won 7 medals. 5 of the medals. Listen, Scar. 5 of the medals. These were kotlabung yame.
Yeah.
My students, literally. I'm not saying my students. Senti Khosikoma, Letabo Sekano, the girls team kata, the boys team kata, and myself. 5 medals from one club. The other 2 medals are from all the other styles. I don't know which styles. I don't know exactly who won and who, but there were 7 medals. You know, and we had 5 out of 7. What percentage is that?
5 out of 7. Oh, I just want to hey, give her 88.
So Hagezamelu, the national team coach. Hagezamelu, I'm bringing you 5 medals, more national team in continental, senior. I'm not talking hormone, a development tournament. Of course, anyone can win a medal because of the numbers, because of so many other. I'm talking senior level. 7 medals
in a continental My God. So, the future. Because I'm sure you want to get your athletes into the Olympics. You know what I mean? Your team. First of all, how do you get such gifted athletes under one building, and how are you able to stop them from making the mistakes that you saw? The jealousies, the lack of focus. How are you able to have such skilled youngsters? On top of that, you know what I mean? Love each other the way that they love each other, and push each other the way that they do. What are you doing differently from what you saw?
I think the most important thing is to try to build them as a family. Have them support each other, have them be there for each other, and understand that they're not going to excel at the same time. You know, some of them are not going to do well now. Some of them are not going to do well in a year's time. But if they understand and appreciate that, if athlete A, for example, Lintle Tanyala, if Lintle is doing well, and then when you're trying to beat Lintle, eventually you'll get to her level. Then you keep her in check. Or hey, I get some maker SC like they went to the Region 5 championships. One of my girls, she got a gold. And Abita locally. This is one athlete she won all the selections. Botswana. Is still there on her tail. This is Senti and Lesego Masimola. Exactly. So they have to compete against each other, and I'm very tough on them. Very tough on them, and because I mean, I understand the competition.
Yes, sir.
I understand the level ya competition. Those guys, they train like crazy. How to more training those guys? You'd literally think those. I mean. Those guys cannot be normal.
What are they doing?
They cannot be normal. There's no how. I mean, to get to that level, you cannot be normal. 100%. You cannot be normal.
But you got to that level, Shakes. How are you making sure that we are competing. Like as far as Southern Africa, Tata and I just think we're wasting our time. Your team has proved itself over and over and over again. How are we going to be able to we get these kids into the Olympics? What do you think needs to be done?
They need to be given exposure. They need to be given exposure. They need to go and see those guys how they train and just appreciate. I think kana matata gore those people mo Botswana, I think happy sport is ntsane le metshameko wa bona ha ntsane le metshameko go tshamekiwa, then a lot of people don't appreciate or sport is not just games.
I'll give you an example. Let's say, because I know Lintle personally, and she's like, man, I know her when she was still in her mommy's tummy.
Yeah.
So I'm talking now.
Yeah.
I've
17,
seen
18
her
year old. Yeah.
Grow up, yalo. You can imagine her. Lintle's been making her own money since she was like 11.
Yeah.
11, 12. She's winning prize money. She's getting money. She's able to ausboki.
Exactly.
Well, they're making their own dough, man. And by the time they're 18, they're so responsible. That this is what I've seen karate do for a young girl.
Yeah.
And Ansariana excelling in her things. Why do you think people don't gravitate towards karate as much as they gravitate towards other sports when there are so many good results?
I think it's because karate is not necessarily like one of, how do I say it? I mean, it's not. So a lot of athletes or a lot of young guys don't want to go through the pain, you know. So a lot of our young kids don't want to go through the suffering. They don't want to go through the grind. It's not easy. It's you already push up, you already sit up, you know, like how can we no, I mean you can't even. I have like kids about 5 years. I don't allow them to say anything. And that's how you grow karate. And with that discipline, you get to appreciate nothing comes easy. And okay, eventually we want this kid to be here. Like we're not on a label Lintle. Lintle deserves to be given an elite scholarship. She's been excelling. Like Lintle has been attending Body Zone 6. Literally, Lintle doesn't have a gold. No, I'm not talking all these silverware and whatever. No, I'm not talking those medals. Gold medal.
Definitely.
So an athlete like that, and you expect such an athlete elite scholarship. Actually, I excel. You know, kaya growth. I mean, so you want to see athletes. She's very disciplined. Very disciplined. And
that's what I love about karate. It's the discipline factor. I want to talk about the private life factor, because the training, it's a lot. How's your private life, Imran?
It's very difficult. It's very difficult. I mean, it's difficult to.
Do you even have one?
I mean, like you're always in training, and people think, no. I mean, how you're always in training? How are you able to do? Like go out, have a good time, because we're now trainer. You are there in training 3 hours in the morning. Train. It doesn't make sense. So
what
you
about,
come back.
So you're never gonna get married. You're just gonna get stuck to the game.
You come back. You have to go for training. And so I mean, it's difficult. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. And I mean, I do have a private life, and I usually keep it private, because I mean, once you put it out there, a lot of people are able to attack it, and
your students also. I also have realized, Honor, you are quite you represent yourself really, really well out there, and I think that's important for Batswana Waba leader.
Yeah.
I want to talk about, as far as your retirement. You know, what led to you saying I don't want to do this anymore?
You get to a point where now you're competing against your own students. I have amazing kids. Like I have Boyamora Masimung, Kariso Muputing, Tabo Litsuiti, Vincent Mahali. These are kids who are doing kata only. They're specializing in kata, and
because they got the best in the world here.
And in terms of Modi selectioning, they are 1, 2, 3, and 4, like literally.
Sure.
So if I compete with them and I'm 1, then they're 2, 3, 4. I'm like, no ways. I cannot be doing this. Let me allow them to shine. You know, without. It's very difficult. It was a difficult decision, and I'm still trying to like adjust. It's difficult, but I'm happy because they are excelling, bruh. They're doing well. And I just felt like, you know what, I need to step back and allow them to shine. And they didn't disappoint.
And as far as you know, the Olympics, do you think this was a failure in your career, or do you think this is a lesson that you are paying forward, or at least now you know what it takes to get to those things, and this means or you'll be able to teach now?
Yeah, no, I mean, I can never take it as a failure, because I was very successful in a lot of things that I wanted to do.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to keep on Botswana top 10 in the world. I ended up in top 4, you know. And a lot of my students, a lot of other kids who train in other clubs actually sent me text messages about, hey, Major Beast, this is crazy, bro. How do you get to this level? And I tried to share with these kids how I did it, and how I became an Africa champion. Ghana Africa Championship, if you look at the history in terms of Qatar, for example, it's been dominated by those Arabs, and those guys are flipping good, bro. Those guys are good.
What are they doing? Okay.
No, this is what they do. Those guys, they are not allowed to work. They are not allowed to work. They cannot find a job. No, these guys don't work. They're not even allowed to go to school. Like,
you're about this thing.
You're about this. How hate your competition days, you can continue with your school. Like go Egypt. The national team of Egypt is consistently 365 days more campaign. Like they live in a hotel. More campaign. Both the whole national team. More campaign. And they have the numbers. Competition in Egypt, they will tell you our national team selection is more competitive than Africa Championship.
Nobody cares about
but they are. But you go to their competition because Botswana selections and national team is 2 days. Egypt selections and national team is about a week and a half, literally.
So, how the privilege throughout the world, because like you can realize a lot of it is happening up there. Do they have school of excellences? I mean, I remember
we have this school of excellence.
Is karate considered in those schools of excellence? And do we see any difference, Mogotswana?
Yeah, no, we have the school of excellence. We have people like Sensei George Sikari that are training like Obomo Koditani, the senior. They are the coaches still that are dedicated to making sure the school does well, more sport in karate. And in other schools, I think I just can't get the names of the top of my head now. But the reason why the other guys, Baba Kuma Hatsimbale, by Excel, like I said,
they stay at it.
They 100%. And how level Egypt has about what? I think about 1.5 million registered karate athletes, registered with the National Federation. About 1.5 registered. Registered by the license books. And in Egypt, a license book will tell a lot Costa. It's not much, It's about maybe 5 pula to affiliate with the national team. 5 pula. But then you multiply 5 pula times 1.5 million.
Still, but
so they're able to fund their national team because they have like a proper they have like a proper fund.
I want to talk about something a bit depressing. I don't know if he was one of your students, the young man who took his life, and I don't know if he was in your dojo. I want to talk about mental health issues within the sport. I mean, I don't know exactly what went on. For the sake of his family, won't mention his name. Mar. It was a really, really sad time within the karate fraternity. What do you remember about young homie?
God, yeah. That boy was one of the most disciplined kids. One of the most disciplined kids we had. One of the most hardworking kids we had. That kid had trained Aloena. No people say this boy can do.
He was winning also.
He was doing good. He was part of the team Qatar that won gold at the African Championships. He was part of that team Qatar, the first team to ever win gold medal at Africa Championships seniors in Cameroon 2017. He was part of that team. That kid, good Lord. So when I heard the news, I mean, I didn't expect that from him because he was one of the tough boys. Like he had his stuff together, you know. And I just think nasa buile ba bangwe ga nna le mathata, like This thing they go build mo go ene sa kgone go open up le ba bangwe no kana this is what is not treating me good, or this is not going well in my life, So usually I talk to my athletes, I usually talk to them and just make them aware gore kana botshelo ga bo motho wa bona, and I make them appreciate that life is very cyclic. One moment you're up there, the next moment you're down there, you're feeling like you're trash, you feel like you're nothing, you feel like, you know what, this life thing is not working for me. I should just maybe end it. So I just make them appreciate what there will be those phases, and they should understand that those phases will pass. And I consistently talk to them about these things. I talk to them about drugs. I talk to them about boyfriends and girlfriends, because these are difficult dynamics to navigate, especially for someone who's very disciplined. If you are very disciplined and you're not used to certain things, you know what I mean? Exactly. And you end up taking your own life, not realizing it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And the parents never very supportive, and they were very heartbroken. I've never seen motsadi utule botoko bontse njana, and it's said gore le motsadi o bo boloka ngwana gago, you know what I mean? We're supposed to bury our parents. Our parents are not supposed to bury us. So it was one of nako ene le botoko tota mo sport and sakarati for our club, and man, it's sad. And like every time like in my phone I have a lot of his pictures, because I spent a lot of time with him. As far as I was concerned, you know what I mean? Only to realize later this guy the issues he wasn't opening up about, and it said he ended up doing what he did, and it's
peace, man.
Yeah, man. May he rest in peace. Indeed.
I'm gonna shut it down, Rona, about like your plans for the future. This is your first month in retirement. Or do you have your plan set out? What are you planning on doing? I know your team is gonna still be whooping more ass, but like, what are your plans? Let's say in the next two years. Are you professionally, personally? What do you have any plans set out?
Yeah, I mean, I'm part of the Botswana Karate Association coaching team. I was supposed to travel with the team to Zimbabwe for the Zone 6 tournament, but I decided not to travel with the team. I decided not to travel with the team because the athletes because the funds were not permitting,
Yes.
So you cannot just be trimming team the athletes in. Even really the coach. You cannot take exactly. Maybe one or two athletes, but say no one. And this is what I consulted with my brother about. Because there will be other coaches but I travel and lead team. And then Kaya Growth as well. He's part of the coaching. Then so that they can have maybe 4 more athletes. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what happened. Some athletes in travel and lead team because some of the coaches decided, no, let's not take an opportunity from these kids, because when they competed for that spot, they're not really coach. Of course, I might be a good coach, but I didn't necessarily compete. I didn't go through some rigorous selection process. So so but there's another coach so I just felt like, you know what, it's one of those. But I'm venturing into coaching because I have a number of good athletes. Like I've mentioned them. My team is full of hungry kids. It's full of kids who want to achieve more, and these are high performance people.
How are you gonna feel though, if they want to part ways with you? How loyal is karate as a sport, and how difficult is it to part ways with your coach to get another coach?
Yeah, I mean, these are kids by long or every tournament. Some other coaches who are telling them or they can make them better athletes. They consistently tell my athletes or they can make them better athletes, and then my athletes come to me and tell me or these guys think they can do a better job than you know. And fortunately, and fortunately, I don't have a problem with these athletes going anywhere. I don't have a contract with them. 100%. 100%. I have absolutely no. I had one athlete actually quit my club.
Eh.
And this is one of the athletes by gore ne ke mo tsere ke batla go mo dira gore a excel go heta.
Eh.
And I made her win continental medals a number of times, not once.
Yeah.
Since she moved away from my club, guess how many medals she's won?
I hope she's watching.
0 medals, bruh. 0 medals.
Oh.
Even local tournaments, she has not won a single local tournament. Local. This is someone who had medals from continental. She has never won gold medal locally since then.
You know what I've heard
And
about
this
you?
is the thing. I can't try to maybe I don't wish bad on her.
I've heard
or
about
anything.
you being a disciplinarian, blind.
And then this is the thing. The mom and this kid, they contacted me or they want to come back to the club and all that.
What did you say?
I didn't respond.
Oh, come on.
I didn't respond. Why should I? Why should I?
You think she's going to come back and mess with the team?
And guess what? The girl on Nanatsa number 2 from my club, they were both from my club. The girl on Nanatsa number 2, she's the current champion. She beat her 3 times this year. 3 times. Even last year, Nantamu beat her. Even since Atsama, like literally. Sometimes
this is what I love about athletes. So I want to cry. And there will always be that competitive bone. No, I want to cry.
100%.
Yeah, she should have known what she was doing.
Exactly,
she should have known what she was doing.
Exactly. And unfortunately for her, I don't see her coming back. I don't see her coming back. It's difficult because these kids are working hard. And they know. I mean, they know the drill. You got to work 10 times better than like your strongest opponent. You have to work. You have to put in the work. And these kids, they put in the work. And then like in awe. I'm like, these kids are going to be beasts.
I always love seeing your team come back with medals. I've always been a fan of your team also because I mean, I'm a Mauritanian, so SSKB. Anyone who wants their child or at least how old should they be and how do they then get a hold of you and how do we get this started? And do you have a selection? Because you are an elite coach, so not everyone can everyone just come run or take my baby?
I have a lot of parents bringing their kids to the club, and I try to spend as much time as I can with the little ones because they're very therapeutic. I mean it's crazy dealing with 3-year-olds. Sometimes with and you like maybe tell the kid to do push-ups or something, and they just look at you like this, like
what are you talking about?
Yeah, like you're talking to a wall, bruh. And it just changes my mood, and it's very therapeutic, like I said. So you can go on my page, Ofentse Bakwadi Karate. You can go to Bakwadi Karate Academy. You can go to SSKB Karate Club. You can go to Botswana Hayashiha Karate Club. These are good people. These are people that I work closely with. Look over Mahalap. I make recommendations to say, okay, if you're not in gaps, this is where you can train. Go Mahalap and go Francis Town and wherever. Some not necessarily affiliated with us, but I can make good recommendations. So if you want to bring your kid, just type Ofentse Bakwadi Karate on Facebook, and then my page is there. You can hit me up. My contact is there. You can hit me up anytime, and I want to share as much as I can the knowledge that I've acquired over the years. I want to share with as many people as I can,
which is a lot, man. Which is a lot, and especially from perspective, as a coach and also as an entrepreneur, man, as a business person, because you are able to you raise funds in a really, really interesting way, and you're able to take that into what you're passionate about, and also show these kids how to live a certain type of lifestyle, which is what I always appreciate. You don't have to suffer to be passionate about something.
100%.
You can look fly, still be disciplined, still do what you got to be doing,
100%.
but also pay it up front to the younger kids
100%.
so that they can be good as well. I think that's all I got for you. I don't know. Is it ever too late to join a karate club?
No, it's actually never too late. I have one guy who joined recently. I think he's been training for like maybe 2 years now. The guy is good, You should see him. Like his energy is crazy. The guy is 54.
Damn.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I was asking Kaya once, okay, Kaya, let's say you're intoxicated, and then someone wants to fight you. Would you win in a bar fight? This dude in Ampaka Marago, dog, he's like, Tato, you have to understand, first of all day I have punches being thrown at me. Every day. So when was the last time a punch was thrown at you?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that's when I realized, we talk about to find people.
Yeah.
But every day, we want to do like say, so you get better at
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, Shakes, thank you so much, Pa. Thank you so much for hanging out, and hope to see you out there, your athletes doing that thing. That's been your Podicast, and yo, man, shout out to Bartender for the amazing cocktail and the water as well. Local corner in the house, SCAR. Check you guys out next time. We out. Peace.
People of different identities. PODI-CAST with big SCAR.